Hi everyone, this is Cooking with Kurt. Today, my husband Donald and I are going to show you how to make a classic Italian dessert called tiramisu. Tiramisu means pick me up, and it's made with Savoiardi cookies, also called Ladyfingers, dipped in espresso, then layered with a cream filling and dusted with cocoa powder.
This recipe was requested by a lot of you, and we hope you like this video. Now you can use store-bought Ladyfingers for this recipe, but we're going to show you how to make them from scratch in case they're not available in the store.
So, for the Savoiardi or Ladyfingers, we're going to start by taking 5 of these eggs, separate them into yolks and whites, and let them come to room temperature. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, then take 2 large baking sheets, these are 13 by 18 inches, and line these baking sheets with parchment paper. Once the pieces of parchment paper have been fitted to the baking sheets, use a Sharpie and a ruler to mark 4 rows that are 3 inches tall, so that each baking sheet will have 4 3-inch tall rows. The rows should be at least 1 inch apart. Then flip the pieces of parchment paper over so the ink side is facing down. Then in a large mixing bowl, add in the 5 egg yolks, half a teaspoon of salt, 5 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 1.5 teaspoons of orange zest. Beat this together with an electric beater for about 3 to 5 minutes until the mixture looks pale yellow and slight ribbons should fall from the beaters when lifted from the bowl. Then sift in 1 1/4 cups of cake flour, but do not fold it in yet. Just set this aside. Next, we're going to make a meringue with the egg whites. Take a large glass or stainless steel mixing bowl. Add in the 5 room temperature egg whites and half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. Beat this with an electric mixer on low speed for about 1 minute till the mixture looks frothy. Then, increasing the speed to medium, very slowly add in 5 tablespoons of granulated sugar. Be careful not to add it in too quickly, as this may deflate the egg whites. When all the sugar has been added, increase the speed to high and continue beating till you see stiff, glossy peaks, like this. Then 1/3 at a time, add this meringue into the egg yolk flour mixture and carefully fold it in. You want to fold it so they are just combined, and be careful not to deflate the egg whites. For this batter, it's actually okay to undermix it a bit, and you can stop even if you see a few streaks of unmixed white and yellow. Today we're actually just using a piping bag with no tip, since the opening of this piping bag happens to be 3/4 inches in diameter, which is what we need to pipe Ladyfingers, but you can also fit it with a metal tip that's 3/4 inches in diameter. Transfer all of the batter into the pastry bag, again being very careful not to deflate the egg whites. Then at a 45-degree angle, use the prepared lines on the parchment paper as a guide to pipe the batter into 3-inch long cookies that are about 3/4 inches wide. When you reach the end, just lift the tip with a swift diagonal upward motion to cut it off. Pipe 5 to 6 cookies per row into the 4 rows on the baking sheet so that you have about 20 to 24 cookies per baking sheet. Do this for 2 baking sheets, so you end up with a total of about 40 to 48 cookies. It might be slightly more or less, depending on how much batter was piped for each cookie.
Extra cookies just for eating are always welcomed.
When you finish piping your Ladyfingers, dust them with about 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. We're going to bake these in our preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 12 minutes, or until they are just lightly golden yellow but not too brown. They should feel dry to the touch but still soft and spongy when lightly pressed. We wanted to emphasize that these cookies should not be too brown, but just lightly golden yellow. Let them cool on the trays for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then transfer them onto a cooling rack to prevent them from sticking to the parchment paper. Let them cool to room temperature. Actually, we're going to let them sit uncovered at room temperature overnight so they can purposely dry out. Drier cookies are needed for tiramisu so that they can absorb the moisture and flavor from the espresso and cream filling.
Our ladyfingers are now a bit dried out. And now we're ready to make the cream filling. Similar to when making the ladyfingers, take 3 of these eggs and separate them into yolks and whites. Set them aside and let them come to room temperature. At this point, we're going to prepare the espresso mixture. Measure out 2/3 cup of boiling water and add in 2 teaspoons of instant espresso powder and 1/4 teaspoon of orange zest. Mix this in and let it cool to room temperature. If you have an espresso machine, by all means use it to prepare the 2/3 cup of espresso. If you don't have espresso, you can substitute it with the same amount of strong coffee. Next, take a large mixing bowl and add in 8 ounces of mascarpone cheese and 2 tablespoons of dark rum or brandy. Beat this together with an electric mixer until it's uniform and smooth. Then, in a medium-sized heat-proof bowl like glass or stainless steel, add in the 3 room temperature egg yolks and 3 tablespoons of sugar. Beat this with an electric mixer for about 3 minutes till the sugar has dissolved and the mixture looks pale yellow in color. Then place this bowl over a saucepan with gently simmering water over medium-low heat in a double boiler setup. Be sure that the simmering water does not touch the bottom of the bowl. With a whisk, continue to vigorously beat the egg yolk sugar mixture together for another 3 minutes, till the mixture has thickened. When the mixture looks like this, take the bowl off the heat. Immediately add this thickened egg yolk sugar mixture to the mascarpone and beat this together with an electric mixer until it is just fully combined. Set this mascarpone egg yolk mixture aside to rest in the fridge. In a separate mixing bowl and a clean set of beaters, add in 3/4 cup of cold heavy cream and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Beat this with an electric mixer on low speed until the heavy cream thickens and you start to see firm peaks. Be careful not to overbeat the heavy cream or it will curdle and separate. It should look like this. Then 1/3 at a time, fold this whipped heavy cream into the mascarpone mixture until it is just combined. Once again, set this aside in the fridge. We're going to make a meringue mixture with the 3 egg whites, so take a stainless steel or glass bowl, add in the 3 room temperature egg whites and 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Beat this on low speed for about 1 minute until the egg whites are frothy. Increase the speed to medium and very slowly add in 3 tablespoons of sugar, a little at a time. And when all the sugar is added, increase the speed to high and continue beating until you start to see stiff peaks, like this. Then 1/3 at a time, add this meringue into the mascarpone mixture and fold it in, carefully not to deflate the egg whites. Rest this in the fridge till you're ready to use it.
Now we're ready to assemble the tiramisu. At this point, the espresso or coffee mixture should have cooled down to room temperature. Add in 1 tablespoon of dark rum and mix it in. Transfer this mixture into a shallow bowl and set this aside. Take a square 8 by 8 inch dish like this. Alternatively, you can also use a 9-inch round cake pan and line it with 2 oversized pieces of plastic wrap, one going from left to right and the other going up and down, so they overlap and make a cross. I'm using a clean dish towel to press into the plastic so that the plastic clings tightly to the bottom and the walls of the dish and minimizing the amount of air bubbles. There should be plenty of plastic overhanging from all 4 sides of the dish, which you'll fold over and press against the sides. Then spread half of the mascarpone cream mixture along the bottom of the dish, making sure that it evenly touches all 4 walls. and smooth it out into an even, flat layer as much as possible. Then one at a time, take a ladyfinger cookie and dip it into the espresso rum mixture, shake off the excess liquid, then place them round side down on top of the mascarpone layer so that they are right next to each other with no gaps. The ladyfingers are quite porous and will fall apart if they sit in the liquid too long, so make sure that you're dipping them for no longer than 2 seconds or so. Continue doing this until the ladyfingers cover the mascarpone as much as possible, which should take up about half of the cookies, about 20 to 24 cookies, depending on the size of your cookies. You can break them into pieces before dipping, as needed, to fill any gaps, so it's an even layer of cookies on top of the mascarpone. Ensuring that there are ladyfingers throughout the layer will strengthen the structure of the tiramisu, making it easier to slice and lift when serving. Next, take a sieve and dust 1 tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa powder over the ladyfingers. Then spread the other half of the mascarpone cream layer over the ladyfingers. And like before, make sure it touches all 4 walls of the dish evenly, and as much as possible, smooth it out into a flat and even layer. Create another layer of cookies with the remaining Savoiardi, dipping them into espresso, placing them round side down, and making sure there are no gaps. This layer will be the base of the tiramisu when we flip the cake over the next day, so try to make them as flat and evenly placed as possible. Seal the top airtight with another piece of plastic wrap.
If you happen to have extra unused Savoiardi cookies, now it's safe to eat them.
Yay! We're gonna let the tiramisu rest in the fridge overnight for a minimum of 12 hours for all the layers to set and for all the flavors from the Savoiardi, espresso, and mascarpone to meld together. When you're ready to serve it, remove the plastic wrap on top and make sure the overhanging plastic is peeled off to the sides and out of the way. We're using a flat serving board that's larger than the 8x8 inch dish. Place it on top, then holding on firmly, quickly and confidently flip it over. Slowly and carefully lift off the 8x8 inch dish and carefully peel off the plastic wrap from the sides and the top of the tiramisu to reveal the cake. Then finally, dust the top of the tiramisu with 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. And there it is, a classic tiramisu with homemade ladyfinger cookies. Ang sarap!
Ang sarap! Yum!
It's so light and airy, almost as if it's 0 calories.
And the mixture of espresso, chocolate, and rum is a real pick-me-up.
Thank you all so much for watching. Please let us know in the comment section below if you're planning to make this classic tiramisu. Send us pictures of your creations on Facebook and Instagram. The links are below. And if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Cooking with Kurt.
And don't forget to click on the bell so you get notified when we post new cooking videos. Maraming salamat!